I swept 3 times. Hey everybody, it's your girl MB Goldie and I'm back with another video. Today was kind of highly requested. Today I'm going to be talking about basically my Forever 21 experience and the reason why I quit. Yes, you heard me right. If you watched my Q&A video, I said I did work at Forever 21. Number 5, do I have a job? Yes, I have a job. I work at Forever 21. Come see me. But I don't work there no more. We leveling up all 2020 and now I got an even better job. Way better job. I'm just going to share my Forever 21 experience with you guys, why I quit. Before we get into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And without further ado, my Forever 21 experience / why I quit. So before I start, I just want to say, you know, I have no love lost for Forever 21. I still support the company, but my particular local store was not the look at all. Yeah, so let's just get into the story. I literally worked at Forever 21 for a month. Yeah, I had a friend who worked there and he was like, oh my god, Michelle, like you should definitely apply, we're hiring, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool. So I called over the phone. I didn't even fill out an application. I called over the phone and was like, hey, I have a friend who works there and he pretty much said that you guys are hiring and I wanted to know, you know, how I would go about applying or getting an interview. And the woman is like, oh, who's the friend who works here? And I'm like, Miguel. Hey, Miguel. And she's like, okay, well, you can come in for an interview. I never filled out an application. Ever. To this day, I never filled out a Forever 21 application. That should have been a red flag, to be honest, but we're just gonna keep going, okay? At this time, before I got hired, I was unemployed. I was broke. I was like in debt and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. So I just took the job when they offered it to me. They paid minimum wage. That's bad. I didn't fill out the application and they hired me. That's a red flag. They pay minimum wage. That's a big L. The woman hired me and for the whole 3 weeks I was working there, it was like 4 weeks. Let me not cap. But the whole month I was working there, I only saw her once. Like the first few weeks were fine. I learned how everything went. So I was a cashier, so I would ring people up. I would clean the store and I would work in the morning shift. So I would clean the store, sweep the floor. You know, the store was so dusty. And I didn't get paid enough to be doing none of this stuff, but I did it. You know, I was obedient and I did it. So I would sweep the floor, open my register. I would process like jewelry, sunglasses, all the accessories pretty much. I would put the sensors on, whatever, put them where they need to go. I would ring people up. I would answer the phone. They have these, when someone doesn't want if they have something and they're like, you know what, I don't want that anymore. You know, it's your responsibility as a Forever 21 employee to put it back. And people would do that so much. So much. And it wasn't even because it was expensive, because we had a sale going on for the whole time I was there and everything was like $5 and under, and a lot of the stuff that people were buying was all clearance and they would just be like, oh, I don't want it, it's $2, sis, why you don't want it? But they would always want to put stuff back, so I would always have to go, it's called I think the go back cart or whatever. So I would just have to put that stuff back on top of looking out for customers, answering the phone. I had to process jewelry because they would always have me processing something. And a lot of the time they wouldn't even tell me, you know, Michelle, you can go on break now. There was a time my shift ended I was working from 9:30 I think until 4. And my shift ends at 4 and it was like 2:45 and I'm like, can I take my break at 3? Because I know like it's gonna come out of my check anyway, so let me take my break. But why do I have to ask you? Also, that manager work got thrown around so much. Don't try that with me. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about it right now. So they had little managers like, you know, people that were cashiers and stuff, and they just decided to promote them, I guess. So it was this one manager. He was so nice. He was so cool. That was my favorite person at that job. There was another manager. Yeah, she was just really annoying, really rude. The way she would say stuff, she would just be like,
if you have to use the bathroom, you should probably let someone know before you walk away from the register.
and I'm like, you were at the register, so I just decided to go to the bathroom while you were ringing people up. And she was like,
I was going at the register because you weren't there.
and you know, anybody who knows me knows that I don't really take disrespect well from anybody. So that was like, bro, I was a ticking time bomb in my own skin. Nobody even knew it. But you know, I just was calm. I was calm about it. Whatever. Yeah, the store was just really unorganized, to say the least. The little managers thought they were big fish, tried to talk to you any kind of way. The store was extremely dusty. They were so anal about everything. Like, you had to organize the hangers. Every hanger in the box had to be flat down. Just stupid stuff, like unnecessary stuff. One day, it was Valentine's Day, and there were a lot of people in there shopping on Valentine's Day. I don't know why they waited until Valentine's Day to shop, but I worked in the morning, and then when my shift was over, I left because I had plans, okay? So the next day, this girl gonna be like,
it was a total mess back here yesterday when you left, and I had a bunch of work to do, so if you could just, like, help.
Basically, it was saying that you didn't really do nothing, so next time do something. And I'm like, sis, like, there was a bunch of people here, so what are you talking about? And when my shift ended. I don't care. I don't get paid enough to be stressing about these hangers. This is probably all over the place, but it was just, that's how the store was, all over the place. It was a mess. They had these big nasty dry mops with a bunch of dust on it, and they wanted us to sweep every morning with it. But if I'm sweeping up dust with a dusty mop, the dust just gonna fall off and make the store more dusty. So I didn't really understand what was the point of that. And then, you know, the day that my like the general manager came back from whatever she was doing for like a month, she was like really bothering me because I had called out the day before because I was sick. I was recovering from a cold, but that wasn't the reason why I called out. I needed a mental health day. I really just needed a mental health day, and I called out because my health and my sanity is more important than selling these clothes on this rack. Next day I came, and that was the day that the general manager was there. That was the first day I ever worked with her. So, you know, I did my daily thing that everybody taught me how to do. Go across the floor in the morning with a dry mop, get up all like the dust and the tags and the garbage. Cool, dump it. Organize the hangers, answer the phone. They had me processing jewelry. I was at the register, all that. So I don't know what the general manager's problem was, but she kept sending people to come tell me stuff. So at this point, I was on the register. I was processing accessories. I was answering the phone. I was putting back the go back clothes that people didn't want. This is what I was doing. I'm only making $9.25 because that's the minimum wage in my state. So I feel like I'm doing too much. I know it's a job, and I know that you have certain things that you have to fulfill, but you're not paying enough to be having me run around like a chicken with my head cut off. Main manager sent the smaller manager over to me to ask me to resweep the floor when she saw me do it this morning, right? And I was like, that already, I was like, bro, are you serious? So I mean, I just did it. I'm like, whatever, let me just do it. I really can't afford to lose this job, so let me just do it. And it was payday, so I was like, you know what, let me just do it. Took about 30 minutes to sweep. Got up everything that I saw, and then she's gonna be like, can you do it again? What? You want me to do it again when I just did it for the second time? She was like,
yeah, because like you see the dust bunnies under
I guess the tables or whatever, but if I'm sweeping with a dusty dry mop, dust is gonna get off of the mop. So she's like, well, yeah, you can just come in with the little broom and just sweep it out. Okay, so why didn't you just tell me to go around with the little broom in the beginning? You told me specifically to use this dry mop, go around the store for the second time and get up the dust, and then when I did it, you're like, oh, it's still dusty. And then when I tell you why it's dusty, you want to tell me use a regular broom when you should have told me that before I even started. And I go around with the little broom and I'm getting up all it does. Took me about 15 minutes to do that. Cool. So I go back to the register. So now I'm on register. I'm listening out for the phone, answering any phone calls. I'm processing the accessories. And I'm putting back the go back clothes. Organizing the hangers, all that. That's everything that I'm doing for $9. Crazy. I have an attitude, okay? My blood is boiling in my body. I'm like, you know what? Just calm down, Michelle. You know what I'm saying? Just calm down. I'm not trying to go there with these people because I know I need this job. But I'm not going to keep a job that's doing the most. I don't have a problem with working. I don't have a problem with doing my job, but first of all, y'all not paying me enough. Second of all, y'all complaining every 5 minutes. Like, come on. Y'all asking me to do mad stuff, asking me to repeat my work because you're not satisfied with it the first time. Bro, I'm doing everything that you want me to do and you still not satisfied. So it's like, I feel mad unappreciated at this point. You know, I swept 3 times and I told the, okay, so boom. The manager, maybe like 10 minutes passes. The same head manager tells the same little manager to come tell me to mop the store. The store's open. If you wanted the floor mopped, you should have told me before the store opened. Because now we have customers. Now I'm going to have to mop around people. Make sure I put up the wet floor signs. Because if somebody falls, y'all getting in trouble. So that was just like too much of a hassle. And I was just like over it. She was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry to do this to you. But she wants you to mop the floor. And I'm like, she want me to do what? She want me to alright. So I go in the back and I'm like, you want me to do what? And she was like,
oh, she didn't tell you?
And I'm like, you want me to mop? And she's like,
yeah, there's spots on the floor and they're dirty. They need to be mopped.
And I'm like, all the time that I've been here, I've never mopped. I have never even seen a mop. And she's like,
no. Nobody told you to mop. Nobody told you to mop. Nobody was doing their job when I wasn't here.
So pretty much she's like,
well, you're supposed to mop and it's part of your job and everybody should be mopping. If they weren't mopping, then I'll be talking to them about it and da-da-da-da.
And I'm like, so then she walks me around the store and she's
like, yeah, you see the spots? You see the spots? They need to be mopped.
Walk me back to the back. Shows me where the mop is. Shows me where the mop bucket is. And pretty much is like,
so you can mop now.
And I'm like, and I was just like straight up, like, I'm not mopping. And she was like,
what do you mean you're not mopping?
So basically I was like, I feel like I'm doing way too much work and not getting paid enough for it. And she was like,
oh, I see. So cleaning is a part of your job description, and if you can't do it, then you're gonna have a problem here.
And I'm like, I never said I couldn't do it. What I said was, I feel like I'm doing too much work and not getting enough money, which is the reason why I said I'm not mopping. So I said I'm not doing it, and she's like,
okay.
And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? And she's like,
oh, you can finish the day.
I'm like, finish the day? Okay, cool. So I go back to processing the stuff, and the smaller manager was like, are you finished mopping? And I was like, I'm not mopping. She was like, what? I said, I told her I'm not mopping. And then she was like, are you sure you don't just want to mop? I don't want you to get in trouble. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. That same manager started mopping. And I'm like, okay, so she told me finish out the day. Because I'm texting my mom. And she's like, so what does she mean finish the day? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's like, does she want you to come back tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I should probably find out. So I go to the back. She wasn't there. So I came back doing the stuff. But I was BSing at that point. Because I'm like, if you want me to finish the day and not come back, I might as well not even work. She finally came back. I went to the back again and was like, so what do you want me to do? Like, you don't want me to come back tomorrow? And she was like,
no, I want you to come back tomorrow.
but she just told me to finish the day. So I'm like, what do you... what? Pick a side, sis. She was like, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. If you're gonna refuse to clean, then you're gonna have a problem working here because cleaning is part of your job and da da da. And now, because you refuse to clean, now so and so store manager is doing your job. And I'm like, how is that my job? I'm not the only person here. That was one of the main things that was bothering me. There was 3 people on this shift and she kept asking me to do stuff. And I was seeing with my own eyes that the other 2 girls weren't doing anything. And I'm like, is she bothering me because I'm new or something? She's talking or whatever. And I think I found out the real reason why she was bothering me. I didn't really understand what she was saying because she had like a really thick accent. But she was pretty much like,
And you called out yesterday and you read the blue paper on the schedule?
And I said no. So I went over there and read it, and it said pretty much that, this week was important and nobody could call out or whatever. But I was like, I was sick. And she was like, yeah, I understand that, but... And then she starts rambling. I don't know what she was talking about again because I couldn't understand her accent. But I think that was pretty much the main reason why she was just picking on me, because I called out. But I told her, as far as they were aware, I was sick. So I don't understand why she was making it a big deal, because if I really was sick, you know what I'm saying, that would have been bad. Because I needed a mental health day, and to me, that is sick. If you come to work and you're straining your mind and your mental health, your physical health, then that's not right. So whatever. She was pretty much like, well, yeah, you're refusing to do the job and you need to do your job if you're gonna be here. And I'm like, I'm not refusing to do my job. She kept throwing around that refusing word. Refuse. I wasn't refusing to do my job. I would by all means go mop if you give me more money. Period. If you either gave me a raise or you stopped picking on me so much. And she pretty much didn't agree to either of those. So I was like, so you don't want me to come back? And she's like,
well, I'm not saying I don't want you to come back. It's up to you.
And I'm like, well, yeah, if I'm not doing that for no $9 an hour. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. She pretty much kept talking slick out of her neck to me, like, don't, like, you're refusing to do this and now you have so and so doing your job because you don't want to do it. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not about to keep talking to me like this. You're not. And I was pretty much just like, if you don't want me to come back tomorrow, it doesn't even make sense for me to finish out the day. So I quit and I took off my name tag. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can go. And I took off my name tag, clocked out. And I left. And I forgot that it was payday. They didn't set up direct deposit because they were lazy. So I walked out of the store, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Forgot my check. So I had to turn around, go back to the store and ask, not that manager, but like the manager under her. And I was like, yeah, can I have my check? She's like, sure. She's trying to be super nice now because she saw that, like, I was annoyed. I feel like everybody in that store literally used to pick on me or bother me. Not everyone, but I felt like they would just kind of target me because I was the new girl and I was quiet. Pretty much always quiet at all of my jobs because I don't know y'all, so I'm trying to get a feel for y'all. Yeah, I feel like that would just make them think that they could walk over me. And then when she's seen that I'm really not the one, then she started being nice. And it was my last day anyway, so I didn't really care. I left with no regrets. Had my sanity, my dignity. I left, I quit, and then maybe like 3 weeks later I got an interview at this place, and I've been working there since, and I love it. I feel appreciated there. I feel like I fit in there, and I just love the job. So moral of this story, don't ever let anybody, any job for whatever reason, walk all over you or make you feel like, make you unhappy at work, because you don't need that. You really don't. If you make a decision and you don't really know and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? God got you. The Bible says he will never leave you nor forsake you. He's not going to leave you, bro. Trust me, because I've been through it. I'm just really grateful for that little rinky-dink job, because now I got a better job that pays more, that's it's just better all around. That was my little Forever 21 experience slash why I quit video. Thank you guys for watching. By the way, the nails is back. The same pack, the same method. To do my nails this time and the time when I did the tutorial, I only paid $11 and they're not breaking. And you know, the coronavirus got them shutting down nail salons, everything. So do yourself a favor and go watch my tutorial, because I will not lie to y'all. It's the truth, baby. It's the truth. So again, thank you for watching my video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see you in my next video. Also, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, at mbgoldie. And if you have any, you know, next video suggestions, questions, inquiries, anything, you can DM me on Instagram. You can comment on my YouTube. I'm human, okay? Okay, I'll see you guys in my next video.